Gaia Portal, Elements of Rainbows Harmonize, with interpretations by Justin Deschamps. The raw Gaia Portal update is first, followed by my extrapolated meanings. Gaia Portal. Elements of rainbows harmonize. Standards of light are followed. Masters of inner works are called to the fore. Sparrows of indigenous ones are heard, and followed. And now the analysis. I do not have an insider or direct source for the meanings below. This is my interpretation of the update, based on extrapolation and contextual usage of the terms. The meanings provided are not the only ones that can be gleaned. In my view, all meanings have value, especially when shared and discussed openly. Please comment below if interested. I'd love to hear others' thoughts on this material. Interpretations. Elements of rainbows harmonize. A rainbow is an example of unity of diversity, focusing on the rainbows produced in nature. Each color is differentiated into an expression of its unique frequency attribute, and yet the boundary between one color to another is not well defined. A gradient is a term referring to a visual representation of blending or mixing. The sharper the gradient, the greater the differential across a given area or length. If a rainbow is absolutely discrete, then the color transitions are completely sharp, and no blending occurs. There is no mixing color between green and blue, for instance. But rainbows in nature tend to be less discrete, more akin to a smooth waveform, and as such, there is a blending between each color. The term element refers to a part of something that is abstract or essential. For example, light is an essential element of photosynthesis. An abstract element would be something that is a principle, which is metaphysical in nature. For example, unconditional love and acceptance are non-physical elements needed to develop self-mastered and empowered personalities. The elements are abstract, because they can only be perceived by the mind as an intellectual structure of consciousness or thought. Abstractions are by nature metaphysical, like thoughts, ideas, goals, values, and so on. Taking all this into consideration, what would an element of rainbows be? There are several interpretations we can discuss in this regard. Focusing on the physical phenomenon of a rainbow, light that contains multiple frequency ranges, is broken up or differentiated using an object that can refract it, like a prism. White light is a blending or harmony of other frequency ranges. If one were to take the rainbow of colors, and shine them collectively onto a white plate or piece of paper, the light would appear white. When colored light blends together, the harmony created forms pure white light. Removing one color or another alters the quality of whiteness. This statement, using a symbolic interpretation of what was just described, could mean that what is presently broken up or differentiated is coming together, a reunion. And in this regard, each individual embodiment of consciousness is like a differentiated, or polarized aspect of the Creator, which is polarized initially through life experience, and then reharmonized into the collective, after self-mastery has taken place. If we consider that the Creator is pure white light, then all potential forms of expression are contained within it. But like the white light from the sun, these colors cannot be perceived unless they are differentiated or broken up. The creation as a whole can be summed up within the allegory of the prism, rainbow, and white light. The pure white light that contains all potentials within, as a unified stream of infiniteness, requires differentiation in order for unique expressions to be perceived. The Creator uses creation to know itself. The prism distorts the white light and breaks it up into individualized frequencies, allowing each frequency of color to find expression. The creation acts as the prism in this example, taking the pure consciousness and undifferentiated awareness of the Creator and giving it a venue to express uniquely. In this sense, the pineal gland, or seat of the soul, is like an internal sun for each embodiment of consciousness. The body and mind act as the prism, breaking up the potentials inherent within a soul so that they can be actualized. More simply stated, the qualities of the Creator such as unconditional love, wisdom, sovereignty, kindness, mercy, and so on, cannot be perceived unless they are actualized through experience. The Creator cannot know itself without experience. Human beings are creatures that evolve through experience, using life as a vehicle to give the potentials hidden within their soul a venue or place to find expression. Hence, all of life is a grand harmony, or tapestry, wherein each being co-creatively participates in the grand scheme of experience, providing a place where their unique essence of the Creator can find form. In this way, all experiences, no matter how seemingly meaningless, horrific, or unimportant, provide an essential venue for individuals to experience the potentials of their soul, an essence of the Creator. If kindness and tolerance are qualities that the Creator has, then in order for the creature to experience them and therefore grow, there must exist within the universe a venue to be kind and tolerant. In order for us to heal, there must be those who require healing. In order for us to practice tolerance and patience, there must be others who act without care or kindness. Thus, all experiences, without fail, always provide a venue for the hidden qualities inherent within all beings to find expression. And the collective aggregate of this process we know of as the universe, one song, or creation as a whole. The law of one material describes this as polarization via catalyst, which is a valid premise to consider. The musical harmonies created by individual musicians is an excellent example of what this statement is saying, and also describes the second phase of the evolutionary adventure of spiritual creatures, in the evolving realms of time and space. An individual who has the potential to be a musician, must first differentiate those potentials via learning and practicing their instrument. This is the phase when the pure white light of their awareness and consciousness, is distinguished into a rainbow of experiences. Each moment of this is like a color in the rainbow, a specific polarization. When they start to practice, the quality of their playing is weak and unmastered, polarization or exemplification of lack of mastery. But as they continue to learn, the mistakes of the past are enfolded and alchemized, becoming the foundation for greater skills and mastery. At the end of the road, a musician will be a master of their chosen instrument, manifesting a great number of the potentials within. Each step along this path was required to reach the state of mastery. Therefore, each step is an essential element of the now pure and mastered musical state. In this sense, the individual used life experience to actualize their potentials within. They used experience as a prism, wherein each event is a color that was later reunited to form the pure white light, like of a mastered musical skill. Thus, for the individual, the elements of the musical rainbow have harmonized, the white light was broken up, and then reunited, through that person's careful choices, and willpower to follow the path of mastery. Now that this has been accomplished, the musician becomes a color within a rainbow of other musicians. Within a symphonic piece of music, each musician is a color that is blended back into white light. Harmonization is that action or process of finding unity. The quality of the unity formed is dependent on the quality of the performances of each element. For Gaia, all her children are like individual colors, becoming more pure or impure through their choices in life. Those on the path of mastery will eventually become like beacons of pure light, able to blend together to form a harmony. Standards of light are followed. A standard is a level or quality of attainment and is also a formalized practice or methodology, like a norm. In this case, the standards are of light, which can generally be interpreted to mean wave-like. Light is a frequency and follows the rules or laws of waveforms or vibrational principles. Given what has been described above, and also considering the principle of vibration that states all things in the universe are vibratory in nature, there is nothing that escapes the standards of light. By this I mean, everything follows the rules of waveforms because they are implicit, built into the creation as a whole. There is never a place where the rules of vibration are not followed. And yet, when we choose to follow the standards of light, we align our will with the will of creation, which is the secret to all growth. Harmony in this sense is the act of following along with the grand will of creation. Using a musical example, When each musician follows the standards set by the conductor, beautiful music is the result. Thus, while all things are vibratory in nature and therefore follow standards of light, the quality of the harmonies created can vary. Musicians that lack skill can still play their instruments in a musical piece, but those who have taken the time to practice following the high standard are more skilled and produce a better harmony. This statement can be interpreted to mean that someone is actually following the high ideals and standards of the universe, which we can think of as natural or cosmic law. What this immediately supposes is that these laws need not be followed, and also that to do so results in the creation of disharmony or chaos. Therefore, the laws of creation that govern consciousness for human beings at this phase of creation are not completely immutable, they are more so guidelines that the Creator wants us to follow, to make the best harmony, just like a composer wants all their musicians to follow their direction so that the best musical piece can be played. But what is immutable is the result of our actions and choices, meaning, when we choose not to align our will with the will of creation, the consequences are governed by law and cannot be changed. We can't create peace with war. We can't heal by using poison. We can't be moral if we harm others. And we can't grow to our full potential without following the standards of light. Masters of inner works are called to the fore. Given what was described above, regarding using experience to activate the potentials within each individual, one who has done this to some degree could be considered a master of inner works. Life provides a venue for all potentials to find some form of expression, whether purely in the realm of mind and imagination or physically as a manifested event within the material reality. In either respect, the individual is given an experience that allows emotional charges to be born along with insights, intuitions, and wisdom. But while experience is laden with potentials for soul growth, one must choose this course. Experience does not automatically propel one along the path of evolutionary perfection, because even evolution is a choice. When we choose not to evolve, disease of mind, body, and soul are inexorable consequences. But when we do accept what life has to offer, embracing it in fullness, awareness and the will unite, and begin that initially slow process of evolution. Those who have chosen to grow and evolve must phase through phases of initiation, and arguably everyone has, to some degree, chosen this course. For example, everyone must learn to master their physical body to some extent, else they would never be able to walk. But almost everyone does learn how to walk, along with many other skills. But just as one goal is reached, 10 more spring up on the horizon to be strived for. And the true masters of inner works are always yearning for greater challenges so as to unlock the spiritual potentials within their beingness. One who is awake and aware, in this sense, embraces all experience and seeks to use all catalyst within it for personal growth, leading to collective upliftment. This statement can be interpreted to mean that some new phase of work is being provided for those masters of inner work, likely something that wasn't present before. When the social fabric organizes enough, this provides an opportunity for individual work to be pushed forward. For example, if one person is the only musician on earth, then there are limits to what they can play. But if they find another musician, then their two skills combine and provide each of the opportunity to do more work. Thus, as each individual being strives for personal evolution and then manifests the potentials of their being to form wisdom, the qualitative changes in reality for all individuals increase in vibrational frequency. In other words, the more evolved everyone becomes in totality, the more evolutionary opportunities there are for the individual. This statement suggests that certain individuals are actually making these great strides, becoming trailblazers at the fringes of consciousness evolution. Sparrows of indigenous ones are heard, and followed. Sparrows are small birds that often live among human beings. They are unique in that they can sing more loudly when in noisy conditions so that their song can be heard. In this statement, the sparrows are of the indigenous ones. The term indigenous refers to something originating or occurring naturally in a place. This statement could be referring to those indigenous peoples of the earth, like native peoples untainted by large-scale societies. Or it could be referring to the masters of inner work, who by virtue of the fact they have chosen to personally evolve, are indigenous unto themselves. Conversely, someone who is lost in society and culture, who has suppressed their soul and inner work in favor of social conformity and accolades, is not indigenous within themselves. Only the true self, the sovereign self-mastered soul, born through self-discipline and inner work, is a native of the evolving spirit growing within the body. In this sense, the statement can be interpreted to mean that, as individuals, we hear the call to grow and evolve towards our true potential and personal life purpose. As a collective, those of us who have done the inner work are standing as way showers for those who have not, who hear and follow them like moths led to a flame.